I told, when they threw me on the floor, I told that worker, I looked over up at her and I says, that's what you get for not protecting my son, you know. And I thought, you know, the faith keeper there would have helped. I told him, I said, you know, you're a person of the longhouse, you're a faith keeper, and you should care about what they're doing to our children in this system. And, you know, that guy didn't do anything either, so off I went to jail, and they're bringing me out of the kitchen area into the main offices, and the guy in the suit, it took 2 officers to pull me out. They were kind of like pulling me out really aggressively, even though I was walking, and he starts telling me when we get to the front door, because it's locked, they lock the door so nobody can come in, and they'll buzz people in, and he starts telling me, you want to act like an animal, then we'll treat you like an animal. And I says, you want me to act like an animal? So I started jumping up and down and yelling, here, I'm acting like an animal, and jumping up and down, and they threw me on top of the back of the cruiser, and my head down, you know, and I'm sitting there, and I still have this scar on my wrist from,
Hello, excuse me.
Hello?
Are you coming back after or what?
Sorry?
Are you coming back after?
Where?
Here.
Why?
Because I'm going to paint, you know, downstairs.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to paint the bay and the elevator. So please, if you come back, use the other doors.
Yeah, I use the other door.
Okay?
Okay.
Because it's a very heavy paint. It's glue in it, you know. It won't dry until tomorrow.
Okay.
So if you come back, just
Sure.
use the other doors.
Okay.
We have 2 doors on the north side. We have that small front door.
Yeah.
You know, the building.
Yeah.
Or the back door.
Okay.
Okay, that's all.
Alright, thank you. And I have this scar on here, and I don't know, right there. It's like kind of whitish, but that's from the cuffs. Because once I got in the back of the cruiser, I didn't notice till I got to the station. It was like my hand was cut. I had bled on the cuffs. My hand was all blood. It leaked everywhere, and I told those officers in the back of the cruiser, I says, you guys don't have jurisdiction in this land, and then they shut up and, you know, kind of smirked at me, and then when I got out, it was like the next day, and the CIS had went to the court for emergency application for crown wardship, and there was no more visits for the dad or me for about, well, indefinitely. They had cancelled them because they were seeking crown wardship. They didn't want us to see him anymore. And I don't know how they cancelled the dad's when he didn't do anything, but they did. And so previously they had been, well, the dad went and talked to them about getting a family placement with his sister instead of crown wardship, and they had to do a provisionalization check or something. It's called, that's what they call it, provisionalize her house or something, check it out, check her background, and she was waiting for police check report to come back, and then she was supposed to get the baby. We didn't know when. There was no definite time frames. They just said whenever the check is done, he's gonna remain at that foster home for now. And but later we found out it was gonna be for December 1st. He was supposed to move in with her on December 1st, and she was gonna be his kinship family placement. But it was 3 months later, because he died when he was 6 months on December 1st, and I had, you know, gotten into an argument with the dad. We had moved to a different apartment, and I had took all my things out of there and left, and I had nowhere to go. And so I called my mother. I says, can I stay with you? Such and such is going on, and I got nowhere to go. She says, well, why don't you go to a shelter? And I said, no, I can't go to these shelters here. I've been to them before, and there's certain things that go on there, and it's not right. I can't go there. And she says, well, why don't you go live with your dad? And that just, makes me cringe because it's only my stepfather, and he he's just a stepdad. He was never really, like, he was an absent person in my life. He was there, but he wasn't involved with me. There was no communication, normal talking between us the whole time. So I just felt strange. But anyways, I had nowhere, so she gave me his number, and I called him up, asked him if I could stay there for maybe a week or so until I can find a place, because the first of the month was coming up. And he says, yeah, how much stuff you got? And I said, just a few things. So I took a taxi over there, and he let me keep my stuff in the hallway, and I was sleeping on the couch and everything, and I was trying to get, part-time work at the temp agency in Brantford, and so I think it was on December 1st he had died in the evening time, and I had went to work early that morning, way out in St. George somewhere at a chicken or turkey factory. We were packaging some cold meats there, and there was some really funny stuff going on in the factory, and my mind just went funny. I couldn't stop thinking about death. I couldn't stop thinking about strange words. Like, in my mind it was the word sarcophagus, and it just kept coming in my mind, the chatter, and I was trying not to think about it, but eventually at one point, after half of the shift is gone by, I just said, heck with it. Then I'm not scared of that word. Sarcophagus, I'm gonna think it. So you know what I mean, like, let it go through my mind without trying to fight it. And it was bizarre. So anyways, it was snowing on the way home in the evening time, and I got back to my stepdad and his girlfriend's place in the evening time, and it was just starting to snow that year. That was like the first snowfall. It was snowing light snowflakes and softly, and I got there and went upstairs, and maybe within the hour, there was a knock on the door downstairs, and one of them told me, they says, the police want you, they're here. So I went downstairs and talked to them, and they says, there was 3 of them, and they says, your son, and they try to say his name. He died in foster care. They said last night, and then I just closed my eyes, let it sink in, because when I first saw them, I thought, oh no, I hope it's not for me, like I had done something and they're coming to get me, because I couldn't think of anything like that. I just said, hopefully it's not for me in my mind, and it wasn't for me, it was for Karennonwe. And I closed my eyes and put my head back, like, in silence. I didn't know what to say to them. And he goes, this is real, or something like that. He said, the one said, this is real. So what are you gonna do? And I thought about it. I said, so what can I do? He says, so what are they gonna do with the body? And he said, I have to contact the Children's Aid about all that information. And I says, okay. So he was gonna take my information and all this other stuff, and I just said, can you hold on a minute? And I went upstairs and I said, Dad, can you talk to them for me? I don't want to talk to them, please. Or Dad said, do you want us to tell him? And I said, yeah. So I told him to go down there, and he talked to them. They told him that, you know, what had happened. And I asked for a cigarette from his girlfriend there, and I went outside to smoke, and he says, do you want to call your mom, or do you want me to call her? So I think I got him to call her, but then he let me talk to her after that, after she already knew, and I told her again what happened, and she says, I'll have your brother and his friend come and pick you up, and you come down here and stay with me, and then, you know, see what we can do. So they came and picked me up, and probably in an hour, and I went down to my mom's house, and, you know, just, she had cigarettes, so I was smoking cigarettes, and we were talking about it, and she got on the phone to try and make all the phone calls to the CAS after hours and see what we can do. She's like, my grandson died, and I want to know about the funeral, and if we can have his body brought home. She said, I'll even have the funeral at my house. I'll even pay for it if I have to. And they told her they didn't have the body, or they didn't have anything to do with it. He was already in Hamilton at the coroner's or something like that. So they said we'll have to contact the funeral home in Hagersville, because that's where he'd be going or something like that. So we had to wait till the morning to give those guys a call.